These foods look completely harmless. You've probably had at least one of them today, maybe all of them, and most people eating them have no idea what they're doing to their cells. Because inside your body, at the cellular level, certain foods trigger a cascade of reactions that directly accelerate biological aging. They shorten your telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes. They damage your collagen, the protein that keeps your skin firm and your joints flexible. They create a process called glycation, which literally stiffens and hardens your body's tissues from the inside. And they drive chronic inflammation, the invisible fire that scientists now link to nearly every major age-related disease. In our last video, we covered the 5 foods that can reverse aging. Today, the other side of that story, the 5 foods that are quietly accelerating it. And I'll warn you now, at least one of these is something most people consider completely normal to eat every day. Food number 1 is the most consumed aging accelerant on the planet. Sugar-sweetened beverages, sodas, energy drinks, sweetened juices, flavored coffees loaded with syrup. And before you say, "I already know sugar is bad for me," let me show you exactly what it's doing inside your body. Because it's worse than you think. When sugar enters your bloodstream, it binds to proteins and fats throughout your body. This process is called glycation. And the products it creates, scientists call them advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. The name is not a coincidence. Here is what AGEs do to your collagen. Collagen is the structural protein that gives your skin its elasticity and firmness. It's also what keeps your joints flexible, your arteries supple, and your organs functioning properly. When AGEs form, they create cross-links between collagen fibers. Imagine taking elastic rubber bands and gluing them together. They can no longer stretch. They can no longer bounce back. Your skin becomes stiffer, less elastic, more prone to wrinkles. Your arteries become harder, your joints stiffer. This is glycation aging you from the inside out. And here is the part about sodas that most people miss. Many sodas are sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. And fructose glycates proteins up to 10 times faster than regular glucose. A 2025 meta-analysis in Nature Medicine found that consuming just 250 milliliters of a sugar-sweetened beverage daily, roughly 1 small can, was associated with a 20% increased risk of type 2 diabetes. And diabetes, at its cellular level, is a disease of accelerated glycation. Every sip is a small deposit into an account that your body will eventually have to pay. The swap, plain sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon, or unsweetened green tea, which actually contains compounds that actively fight glycation. The change alone can make a measurable difference within weeks. Food number 2 is one of the most damaging foods to your long-term biological age. And it is also one of the most socially normalized. Processed meat, bacon, sausages, hot dogs, deli meats, salami, pepperoni. Anything that has been preserved through smoking, curing, salting, or chemical additives. Processed meats are one of the most potent sources of dietary AGEs in existence. The combination of proteins, fats, and high-heat processing creates AGEs in enormous quantities, even before you eat them. But that's only part of the problem. Processed meats also contain compounds called nitrosamines, formed from the preserving agents used in curing. Nitrosamines are directly toxic to DNA. Studies analyzing tumor samples from colorectal cancer patients found a specific pattern of DNA damage, an alkylating pattern, directly attributed to compounds formed in the body after consuming processed meats. And the telomere data is damning. Research consistently shows that high consumption of processed meat is inversely linked to telomere length. In plain English, the more processed meat you eat, the shorter your telomeres. The shorter your telomeres, the faster your cells age. The faster your cells age, the faster you do. The same July 2025 Nature Medicine analysis that found the soda diabetes link found something even more striking about processed meat. Unlike most food disease associations, which weaken when you control for lifestyle factors like smoking and exercise, the processed meat aging link held firm even after controlling for everything. The researchers described the relationship as unusually strong and consistent across populations. The swap, eggs, legumes, fresh fish, or chicken all provide complete protein without the nitrosamines, without the ages, without the telomere damage. Food number 3 is the one that surprises people the most, because it doesn't look dangerous. White bread, white rice, pastries, most breakfast cereals, crackers, pizza dough made with white flour. These are not foods people think of as harmful, but what they do to your blood sugar, and therefore to your aging rate, is significant. Here is the mechanism. Refined carbohydrates have been stripped of their fiber and most of their nutrients. When you eat them, they break down into glucose almost instantly. Your blood sugar spikes sharply. Your pancreas releases insulin to manage it. Blood sugar crashes. You feel hungry again. This cycle repeats. But here is what is happening at the cellular level during those spikes. Every blood sugar spike creates a wave of ages inside your body. Every spike activates a pathway called mTOR, a cellular growth switch that, when chronically activated, suppresses autophagy. Autophagy is your body's cellular cleanup system, the process that removes damaged proteins and malfunctioning cellular components. In our last video, we talked about how turmeric activates autophagy. Refined carbohydrates do the opposite. They suppress it. The cellular junk accumulates. The damage builds. The aging accelerates. A major study from the Moli-sani cohort, following over 172,000 participants, found that high ultra-processed food intake was significantly associated with accelerated biological aging, and refined carbohydrates were one of the primary contributors to that effect. The swap: whole grains, brown rice instead of white, whole wheat bread instead of white, oats instead of sugary cereals. The fiber in whole grains slows glucose absorption. No spike, no crash, no glycation wave. Your cells get energy without the aging cost. Food number 4 covers a wide category: chips, packaged cookies, fast food, frozen ready meals, instant noodles, most packaged snacks. What these foods share, beyond their convenience, is how they are made. Ultra-processed foods are not just foods with added ingredients. They are industrially manufactured products that bear little resemblance to anything that grew in the ground or came from an animal. Scientists at the University of Navarra analyzed DNA samples from nearly 900 people aged 55 and older. They tracked their ultra-processed food consumption over years. The finding was stark. Participants who consumed the highest amounts of ultra-processed food had up to an 82% higher chance of having significantly shortened telomeres. 3 or more servings per day doubled the likelihood of accelerated cellular aging. Why? Ultra-processed foods trigger aging through multiple pathways simultaneously. First, they are typically cooked at extreme temperatures, creating large quantities of ages directly in the food. Second, they contain industrial seed oils, often partially oxidized, that generate free radicals inside your cells. Third, their chemical additives, including emulsifiers and preservatives, disrupt your gut microbiome. And the gut microbiome connection to aging is more significant than most people realize. Your gut bacteria regulate inflammation throughout your entire body. When ultra-processed foods disrupt microbial diversity, when pathogenic bacteria begin to outnumber beneficial ones, the result is a state of low-grade systemic inflammation. That inflammation directly impairs DNA repair, accelerates telomere shortening, and promotes cellular senescence. The zombie cells multiply, and the aging accelerates. The swap: whole food snacks, a handful of walnuts, an apple with almond butter, hummus with vegetable sticks. These don't just avoid the damage. They actively deliver anti-aging compounds at the same time. Food number 5 is the one that will be most controversial. Because for years, decades, we were told that moderate alcohol consumption, particularly red wine, was associated with longevity. And it's true that certain populations with long lifespans do consume moderate amounts of wine. But what the latest science is revealing is more complicated and more concerning. Alcohol accelerates aging through several mechanisms. First, it is a direct source of free radicals. When your liver metabolizes alcohol, it produces acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that damages DNA and proteins. This is the same category of damage caused by cigarette smoke and environmental pollution. Second, alcohol depletes key nutrients that your body needs for cellular repair. Zinc, magnesium, B vitamins, folate. These are the raw materials your cells use to fix DNA damage, maintain telomeres, and produce antioxidant enzymes. Alcohol drains them, and without them, the damage accumulates faster than it can be repaired. Third, alcohol disrupts sleep, and this is where the aging acceleration becomes compounding. Sleep is when your brain clears toxic waste products through a system called the glymphatic system. Sleep is when your body produces growth hormone, which drives cellular repair. Sleep is when your cells do the majority of their DNA maintenance. Alcohol reduces REM sleep, the deepest, most restorative stage. Even 2 drinks before bed measurably reduces REM sleep quality. The cells get less repair time. The damage accumulates faster. What about red wine and resveratrol, the compound said to protect against aging? The science on resveratrol has been significantly revised in recent years. The doses used in studies showing anti-aging effects are far higher than any amount you could get from drinking wine. And the alcohol in wine cancels out and likely exceeds any benefit from the resveratrol content. If you want resveratrol, grapes, blueberries, and dark chocolate provide it without the cellular damage. The recommendation is not necessarily 0, but if longevity is your goal, reducing alcohol is one of the highest impact changes you can make. The data is consistent across populations, across studies, across decades. Look at these 5 foods together, and you will see one pattern. Every single one of them drives the same 3 biological processes. Glycation, the stiffening and hardening of your body's proteins. Chronic inflammation, the silent fire that destroys tissue and accelerates cell death. Oxidative stress, the molecular damage caused by unstable free radicals attacking your cells. These 3 processes are the engines of biological aging. And the modern diet, for most people, runs on fuel that keeps all 3 burning. Not because anyone intended it that way, but because ultra-processed, high-sugar, chemically preserved food is cheap, convenient, and engineered to be irresistible. The good news is that the body responds faster than most people expect. Research shows measurable improvements in biological aging markers within 4 to 8 weeks of dietary change. Your cells are not passive. They are constantly renewing, repairing, and responding to the signals you send them. Every meal is a signal. The question is, what are you telling them? You don't have to eliminate everything on this list overnight. You don't have to be perfect, but awareness is the beginning of every meaningful change. Now you know what these 5 foods are doing at the cellular level, and you know what to swap them for. Sugary drinks, swap for sparkling water or green tea. Processed meat, swap for eggs, legumes, or fresh fish. Refined carbs, swap for whole grains. Ultra-processed snacks, swap for whole food alternatives. Alcohol, reduce and replace with foods that contain natural antioxidants. Your biological age is not the same as your chronological age. One is fixed. The other is something you influence every single day. If you haven't watched our previous video on the 5 foods that actually reverse aging, that's linked in the description. Because the goal isn't just to stop the damage, it's to start the repair. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.